Welcome back. The Senate approved a temporary government funding bill to avert a weekend shutdown. Lawmakers now have until December 23rd to craft a full-year omnibus deal. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi also planning to include Senator Josh Hawley's bill to ban TikTok on all government devices in that omnibus bill. Joining us right now is Tennessee Senator, Senate Foreign Relations Committee member, and Senate Banking Committee member Bill Hagerty. Senator, it's great to see you this morning. Good morning to you. Can you tell us about the approval here on this Senate bill? It's obviously funding the government, but just through the weekend.
Maria, it's a short-term bridge, but it's something I'm not supportive of. We need to move this into the next calendar year. We need to move it into a point where Republicans have an advantage. I'm a business person. I've negotiated my entire career. You want to negotiate from a position of advantage. We don't have an advantage right now. We shouldn't be closing this at this point in time. We should wait until Republicans have control of the House of Representatives. I'm quite disappointed that we're moving the direction we are, but that's where we find ourselves right now, and at least I'm glad that Josh Hawley's bill has been introduced that will take TikTok off of all government phones. I would encourage everybody in America to take it off of their children's phones. This is quite dangerous. The Chinese Communist Party, is looking at every avenue they can to invade our privacy and to gain advantage. This is at least one positive note in something that is very, very disturbing to me in terms of our continuing to fund Biden's reckless spending and the Democrats, willing disregard for the real crises that face us at our southern border.
Yeah, I want to talk about the border as well as China with you, but on this spending bill, Senator, do your colleagues on the left not understand what took us to 40-year high inflation? It seems like we're going to get another boondoggle at year end with more spending.
I think they don't care. The 40-year high inflation, of course, is a direct result of this reckless spending spree that the Democrats have precipitated. They put roughly $3 trillion into an economy that was already moving forward. They've set it on fire. And the inflation that we felt is due not only to their reckless spending, but also to Biden's, very reckless policies regarding energy in America. He's waged war on oil and gas here, driven energy prices through the roof. At the same time, from a fiscal standpoint, we've had, without a single Republican vote, we've had Democrats push forward stimulus spending and Green New Deal spending that has driven inflation through the roof here in America. It's not going to stop until we stop this spending, and it is just incredibly reckless and I think irresponsible to continue moving in this direction.
Well, wouldn't it have been better for Republicans to say we're not agreeing to a dime of more spending until there's money going to the border? Look, Joe Biden wants to hire, he wants 166,000 IRS agents after he hires 87,000 IRS agents, and there are only 15,000 border agents. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre yesterday claimed that the administration is preparing for Title 42, and she says that they've done, quote, the work. Watch this.
We're doing the work. We're going to do this in a safe and humane way. And we will have more to share on the proposed preparedness next week before the December 21st date. But look, we also need Congress to act. It is important that they deliver the resources we requested for the border security and management. They need to pass the comprehensive immigration reform that we have put forth.
So I've been asking all morning, Senator, what is this immigration plan that the Biden administration has put forth? Are you aware of it?
Whatever their immigration plan is, it's basically a plan to flood our border, to destroy America, to bring in more and more illegal immigration. And if you think about it, Maria, we've talked about this before, this is about power for the Democrats. They're trying to shift and transform America in a direction that is uncontrollable. What they've done is they've situated sanctuary cities in blue states, and they're flooding the border. 160 different nationalities have been apprehended at that border. They don't know who's coming across. They don't care. Fentanyl can come across, major drug traffickers, terrorists can come across. They don't care. It's just about getting the numbers in a way that favor them when it comes to apportioning new congressional districts and getting more electoral votes. It's shameful. It's about power. It's not about maintaining America, America as a nation. They're violating everything that any normal nation would consider in terms of maintaining our border.
Yeah, I mean, look at these pictures we're looking at, Senator, from Sunday. 1,000 people in El Paso. An explosion of illegal migrant encounters, and this is not even after Title 42. This is a 255% increase just since October 1st. A federal judge also blocking the administration's bid to end the Remain in Mexico policy. So in the face of all of these people coming across, they want to end the Remain in Mexico policy. What do you think happens once Title 42 goes away next week?
You know, President Trump's Remain in Mexico policy was the one thing that actually worked in terms of making people that were seeking asylum here in America stay in the country that they were from. What it demonstrated was that most people coming here are really not here to seek asylum. They're here for economic reasons. That's not a legitimate reason to come here. The Remain in Mexico policy was actually working. It worked in a tremendous way under President Trump. Now with Title 42 falling, there needs to be something to take its place. I've tried now twice, Democrats have blocked it both times, to modify Title 42, to focus on the most existential crisis, the most existential health crisis that's facing us as Americans. The number one killer of Americans between the ages of 18 and 45 is death by drug overdose. Where does that drug overdose come from? That southern border. The majority of it, fentanyl. What I've done is put forward legislation that would stop and allow border agents to use the threat of fentanyl crossing that border as a reason to turn people back, to stop and block this. And the Democrats have blocked it twice now. I'm going to bring it back to the floor again. I'm going to continue this fight because fentanyl is an existential threat to the health of America. And that's what's happening at our southern border. They are bringing this poison across our border with no checks or balances. And we are seeing Americans die over 100,000 last year alone.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, Senator. We're going to be watching this story, obviously. On the China story, the House is going to have a China Select Committee. Senator, what can you do to push back on communist China? We know all the surveillance tools around, even TikTok now being banned on government devices. What is the way to push back on all of this bad behavior from the CCP?
Maria, we need to do far more than we have. Again, I served as U.S. Ambassador to Japan when we were pushing back in the Indo-Pacific. We need to use tariffs. We need to use economic measures. We need to use military measures. We need to do everything that we can to push back against the predatory nature of the Chinese Communist Party. They are here in America. They're even establishing police stations here to basically pursue and observe their own people that happen to be resident here in America. We've got to push back at every turn. Their predatory practices are just unconscionable. And I think that Josh Hawley's bill, at least, that gets TikTok off of government phones is a good step in the right direction, but it sends a message to America to wake up and realize that we've got a huge problem with the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah, apparently, and we still don't have any attention on it from this administration, Senator. We'll keep a spotlight on it as we have been. Great to see you, sir. Thanks very much. Bill Hagerty joining us this morning in Tennessee. Thank you. Have a good weekend.